It's SDS SuperCoach, providing SuperCoach content for you. I'm here to present a video where I review players' ownerships. So this will be part one of a three-part series. So today it's going to be the defenders. I think next video will then be rucks and forwards, and then another video. The final part will be the midfielders. But today I'm just reviewing the defenders' ownership. So I know you guys had, thank you guys for all the kind messages over the past few days regarding my mum. I really do appreciate that, and thank you guys for all the support with that. Great news. She's all cleared. And fair to say that that Wednesday when we got the news, one of the best feelings ever. So no, we're all good. We're all rock and rolling. Moving out on Sunday. So I'll be having a new office. I've currently got my new chair. Built it at Mitre 10 yesterday. It's all locked and loaded. So I'll be building the desk tomorrow, and there we go. So yeah, hope you guys are going well. Let's review the ownership of some of these players. So Nick Dacos at 63%. I believe this is the highest it's been at any point so far in SuperCoach. I would say, and for each, I'll probably go as far as 1%, to be honest, today. But I'll say if it's overs, unders, or in between, like it's about right. So 63% ownership for Nick Dacos, I think is probably about right, because I think we know what he's capable of. Like 650,000, we know has the potential to, even this season, to become a 700K player. And the fact that we can get him in the back line is a joke. So, yeah, it would be very bold not to start Nick Dacos. I know he's got that early buy, and I know people predicting tags, blah, blah. But are you willing to go against 60? Are you willing to go against Dacos with 63% ownership? I'd rather reckon you just go with the crowd, and whatever comes, whatever comes. At least if it doesn't fully work out, you're with the crowd. You can still match the crowd there. But I guess it's a calculated risk that you can take not starting Dacos, but I personally won't be going there. So I'd say 63% is about right. Zach Williams, 58%. He's actually dropped a few percent in ownership over the past couple of days. I think that's mainly due to Zach Williams not exactly being a lock for round zero against who have they got? They got Brisbane, don't they? So as you can see, I can move in the chair now. So yeah, a bit different. But Zach Williams, 216,000, which is a joke. 58%. I would say this is about, to be honest, unders. Like if he's picked, I think you just go with it. Like he has premium scoring in the past. Like there's not much more that needs to be said. I think you just got to pick the bloke if he's there, if he's playing. Like I think it's simple as that. Nick Caulfield, 54%. I'm going to go slightly overs on this, just slightly. He played well against the Hawks today in the match sim. Still need to go back and watch that game, but as a Hawks man, as you can see, I'm looking up Hawthorn Grand Final tickets up there. So let me know if you guys have any idea how to get them. So Nick Caulfield, 54%. I think that's slightly over. It's just he played well today, but it's more the fact that, is he a lock? I wouldn't call him a lock to be in the Dogs team. So I think that's more of a wait and see. But all these rookies at the minute are just placeholders. So maybe I don't need to talk about them too much. Daniel Curtin at 53%, slightly, it's overs, because just before I started recording, Mark Keane got knocked out by Sam Powell-Pepper. A bit of a crap move from him. So I think Sam Powell-Pepper will be missing the first couple of games of the year, to say the least. But with Daniel Curtin, I think it's more worried about what he's going to play. Like, where's he going to play? It's 175,000. Are they going to put him on the wing? Is he going to be just a 5K cheaper version of Caleb Windsor? Is he going to be playing key position defense? For me, I'd rather save 25K and go Josh Gibcus in that sense. So it's just, is he going to be playing third tall? We don't know yet. So, yeah, all these questions will be answered in the near future, as we're literally less than 3 weeks away from round 1, which is mental. Josh Gibcus, 50% ownership. I think this is about right, just because he's a lock to play. He's actually cheaper than what he was during his first season. He was about 174K, or similar price to Daniel Curtin, actually. We're getting him cheaper just due to him missing a lot of all of footy of last year. So 150K, like I think he got to like 307 would be my rough estimation in the 2022 season when he first played. So if he can make 150K like that again, that's a bargain. So Josh Gibcus, very talented player. I think this is about right. Because I guess a little dent on him would be that I'm not 100% sure whether you would put him on field, but a lot to be determined there. Hayden Young, 36%. I'm going to call this quite, like, this is unders for me, like 525,000 value, playing the midfield, better role, ready to explode. I think the pick ticks all the boxes. Good buy. Realistically, I think he should be over 50%. But I won't complain if it stays at this ownership here. Tom Stewart, 30%. To be honest, I think this is unders as well. I know he's turning 30. He's 30, 31 now, getting a little bit older in age. But last year, I mean, besides the knee injury, but that isn't soft tissue or anything. That is just really unlucky. And I started him in round 1, so that was fun. But I'd say this is unders. I prefer him over Sicily. I don't think that should be the same ownership. So I think Stewart should roughly be in that 40% ownership. I've currently got him in my team. He's pretty well locked in just because Geelong aren't as good as they once were. So I just think that they're gonna there's gonna be a lot more ball going down there, stuff like that. So yeah, Tom Stewart for me, I think unders there. Sis Dog, yeah, I currently haven't got him in my team. I know people saying, oh, he might be freed up with blank out and all these key backs out still. Like they're still moving the magnets around so he can be free, but I'd rather just wait and see. Like we saw last year, he dropped as low as 520K at one point, and I do think a very similar thing could happen this year for Sicily. Am I saying he'll be a top 6 defender? Yes, but I think that's overpriced for, I think, his prospects for next year. Harry Sheezel. So yeah, Sicily. Would I say overs or just about right? I'm going to go overs. I reckon he should roughly be maybe like 24%. Harry Sheezel, unders at the minute. It seems like North Melbourne are pretty happy to lock him in pretty early into the season as playing halfback. And you just ride that wave until it crashes and burns, really. So I think Sheezel, I prefer him over Sicily. I like that people are going Dacos, Young, Stewart, and Sheezel as like 4 of the 5 main guys here. But I think this is unders for Harry Sheezel, just because he could be another Nick Dacos for 2024. So I'll definitely get him into your side. I think we've seen enough proof that he's going to get plenty of the ball. Could he get tagged? That's another story. We don't know. Marty Hoare, 23%. I'm going to say this is overs. It looked like he was playing more in the VFL side of their pracky game against the Tigers. So I think if he is picked, you pick him because mature body, good scoring history, been out of the league for a couple of years, but now he's back. And I would, if he's named, I'm picking him. But it's just hard to tell early days. It does seem like he's a little bit on the outer for the time being. Maybe good depth for their VFL team. Zach Reid, I'm going to say just about right. I can understand people's concern a little bit when it comes to his body, but he was playing third key tall. Looks like Laverde and Mackay were certainly more lockdown defenders, where Zach Reid can roam and all that sort of thing. So I do think this is unders for Zach Reid. I think he's going to be a solid SuperCoach pick for a rookie early days, but from what I see, I think it's perfectly fine. I reckon he should be higher in ownership. Toby Pink, 21%. I think this is overs, just due to the fact that Doesn't it's similar to Marty Hoare. Doesn't fully seem like he could be best 22. A little bit on the outer for the time being. I think he gets named. It's just I think it's just more pure lockdown. So I do prefer Reed. I do prefer Marty Hoare. So I think Toby Pink, yeah, 21%. Actually, no, we'll go just about right because it looks like he could play. It's just more of a wait and see there. Kitty Coleman, I'm going just about right. Like I think if Brisbane didn't have that early bye, I think a lot more people would be going this way. I personally wouldn't, just because remember with yesterday's match practice against the Suns that there was no McKenna. I'd like hopefully next practice game next week we get to see Coleman with McKenna and we get to see a full dress rehearsal about how that backline exactly is going to shape. I think Coleman will be the main distributor, but it's just more whether he can whether McKenna's going to take points off, Wilmot, that sort of thing. So just monitor that. Sinclair, 11%. I think this is about right. He's missing both of the Pracky games due to a calf. And gee, it's a massive drop off, actually. It's really the top 13, and then we're heading into pod territory here. So Jack Sinclair, I'm going to call just about right. He's going to miss the 2 Pracky games and move into the midfield where he actually didn't score as well as he did down in defence. So I'd say this is just about right. He'll be around the realm of top 8. Chance he is top 8 for sure, like 2 good years in a row. But yeah, just some little red flags there. Ethan Phillips, I'm going to say this is overs because it seems like for me, Jai Sarong, Frost. So there's 3 key defenders at the Hawks right now that are fit. Ethan Phillips, Sam Frost, Jai Sarong. And for me, I think Phillips is 3rd best because he hasn't had an AFL preseason whatsoever. Like, unless it purely came down to injuries, they aren't just going to throw him with the Wolves. Like, I think they much prefer Frost. I think they prefer Sarong. So, and he did get beaten up a bit one-on-one from the stuff I saw. So, yeah, I think this is a little bit overs. There's no guarantee that he's going to play. I personally don't think he is going to play round 1 unless more injuries come. So, yeah, I think people are jumping on him because of our injuries, but there's no guarantee that he plays. Dan Houston, I'll say this is unders. Not by too much. I think he could go as high as 15% in my book, but the inconsistent scoring does frustrate me if I owned him. There's inconsistent scoring. He can drop some stinkers. He can drop money, and you can pick him up a bit cheaper. He's just that sort of player. So I personally wouldn't be. I'm personally not picking him for the time being because, like blokes up ahead on the ownership percentage, I just prefer as options. But Houston's a good pod. Houston's a good pod. He could go bananas. Windhager, well, now this is very much overs because, I mean, he's a chance to still play round 1 apparently, but now unfortunately, the poor bugger's broken his other hand. Will have surgery, miss a couple of weeks. But this is now definitely overs because there's no guarantee that he plays round 1. And yeah, he's heading into the season with a busted wrist. Busted hand once again. So yeah, bit stiff for Windhager, but I'd probably take him out of your side now. Billy Wilson, overs. Like, is he getting a game yet? I wouldn't have thought so round 1. Like, Carlton's depth is just nearly the best in the competition. I just don't see Billy Wilson getting a game early days. Now, he could at some point during the season, but I just don't see it yet, so I don't like it. I'll go a little bit quicker. We're heading to real pod territory now. Elliot Yeo. I'd say this is about right because I can understand people's concern with Yeo just due to obviously his body, but we know he's a very talented player. So it's more what type of, how risky are you? Are you willing to are you willing to double down on the Elliot Yeo pick? I mean, you're a brave man to do so, and fair enough to you. But you're picking him at a price where you're gonna. He's not a cash. He can make cash, but you're picking him at that price to where it's just about a premium. So I think if he plays 22 games, 23 games, I mean, I think he's in contention because he's playing full-time mid. He's in contention to be a top 8 defender. It's just that body. So I think this is about right. Wanganeen Miller, I think this is a little bit unders. I think he could go as high as 10%. Just because for me now, Riley Bonner could eat into his score, as we saw today. But I think he has that free will in the back line now to do what he wants, take the kickouts. I'm not sure if Bonner is even best 23 anyway, to be honest, but maybe he is after today. But with Sinclair looking like he's going to move into the midfield, I think Wanganeen, it's a real good breakout candidate. Could he make All Australian? I think there's a case to be made there. So yeah, massive watch on Wanganeen Miller. It wouldn't surprise me next week if he absolutely cuts sick and a lot more people looking into him. Heath Chapman, very much overs. He is unfortunately out again with a hamstring issue, so he's going to miss the start of the season. So he should be at 0%. Connor O'Sullivan, I'd say this is just about right. Key defender, looks like he's playing lockdown. No certainty to play, but apparently impressing. Jordan Ridley, this is overs. Nick Martin is the king down back now with the ball. So I expect Ridley's scoring to be roughly the same or even worse. So this is overs, should be 2 to 3% in my book. Closey, is that how you say it? Closey? I think he played on the wing last night in the match sim. Apparently did pretty well, actually. It's just, is he going to play? Like, we don't know. That's a lot of thing with these rookies. We just don't know yet. So I think Closely, this is just about right. Like, good placeholder for now. Maybe, other than Phillips, probably the bloke that has the best chance at 102K to play round 1. Josh Weddle, I'm going to go overs. It's very tough to predict a breakout candidate, and it's very hard to pull off. Like, did anyone pick Caleb Serong last year? Not really. So, look, Josh Weddle, I'd rather go the cautious approach and not pick him, just because, I mean, Hawthorn are pretty struggling big time down back. So I think they just might need a little bit more help in the key defensive stocks and taller blokes down there. Weddle might have to be a little bit more accountable. He's playing a halfback wing. It's just a bit all over the shop. Now, player I do prefer to Josh Weddle, who's in 1% less ownership, is Connor Budrick. Dimmer Hardwick's given him the next Jaden Short name, so that instantly brings attention to me. 301K, good role from what I saw in the Pracky game last night, so that's promising. So this is a real underrated pick here. I think he could be as high as 10%. Realistically, to be honest, I think he should be at about 10%. Granger Barras, we'll try to rip through a few of these. This is overs. He's out for 12 weeks with a turf toe. Luke Ryan, I'm going to go unders. I think he deserves a bit more respect than 3%. I think that's a little bit ridiculous. So if you've got him in your team, fair play to you. I do think the faster game style apparently Freo are going to do will affect Ryan a fair bit. And when Freo are bad, Ryan's good. Now, so that's another thing as well. So I think the faster pace has put people off the Ryan pick, but I think he deserves a bit more than that. Decent pot. Ari Schoenmaker, overs. He's nowhere near playing AFL standard. He's nowhere near playing AFL. Take him out. Massimo D'Ambrosio, I think this is about fair. Looks like they're feeding him the ball a fair bit. Good left boot. So this is, as a Hawks fan, I was very happy with how D'Ambrosio went. I think he had like 26 touches today. Looks to be like he'll play around 1. So, yeah, D'Ambrosio, I don't mind it. If Zach Williams doesn't get picked, this could be everyone's fallback option here. Matthew Carroll, never heard of him. Overs. Charlie Edwards, I heard he's a sneaky chance for round 1, but I know Matthew Nix doesn't particularly rely on too many debutants, really. I think he backs the same crew in. So I don't think he gets a game, but I don't mind it. Liam Baker, I think this is unders. Looks like he could be playing midfield this year. Defensive forward. If he didn't have that bloody bye, I think a lot more people would be picking him, potentially even myself. Love the way he goes about it. Great player to watch. So he's a watch for me, but probably won't with that bye. Lockie Whitfield, this is just about right. If you want to go into therapy, then pick Lockie Whitfield. So best of luck to you. James Trezise, just about right. Looks like he's not even in the best 22. I was pretty hot on him, but there's no guarantee that he's going to play. So, and it looks like he's a little bit on the outer in the best 23 for the Tigers there. So for the time being, so that's a pass. Will Graham, haven't heard too much, so I'm just going to say fine. That's about right. Nick Cox overs, get him out, please. Please. If he does play, he's going to be playing wing. His selection risk, I'm not even sure if he's best 23. So, no. Quaynor, not particularly the SuperCoach classic pick. So, I'd say this is overs. Will Dawson, again, rookie. You never know. This is fine. Liam O'Connell, again, never heard of him. I think it's the 102K price tag. So, probably overs. Harry Himmelberg, I'm going to go unders with this 2% ownership. I think at 450K, I think there's chance he could be top 10, but I can understand the appeal with other, like he's been, I think if you're going to go with a bloke around 450K in the back line, I'll just take a stab at Elliot Yeo because he has a higher ceiling than Himmelberg. Or better chance, not a better chance. I think he'll average more than Himmelberg. Let's just say that. Nick Blakey, overs, not really the SuperCoach pick just yet. One day he could. Jaden Short, I reckon this is unders. My main concern is his body. So I do think this is quite unders actually but the thing is, if he can stay healthy, I think there's every chance he could be a top 10 defender for this year. So keep an eye out on him. Once again, that buy hurts. Darcy Moore, 1% overs. Tom Brown, you never know, but 154K isn't as nice. Radaglia overs. I'll just speed run this now. Nick Newman overs. Sard overs. Redman. Actually, Newman, Newman fine. Sard fine. Redman fine with this 1% ownership. Kennedy overs probably. Burgoyne, I'm going to go unders. Could be playing wing for the Power this year with a good buy. I don't hate it. Sam de Koning overs. Braden Campbell, just don't see the role there. Overs. Dylan Grimes, no. Overs. Mullen, I don't hate this. Could be getting a few more opportunities with the Cats this year, so I'll just go unders. Markov, no. Overs. Rioli, about right. Andrews, overs. Cumming, overs. Tew Jath, I'm not sure if he's going to get a game. So how many 1% players are there? Oh, there's a lot more 1% players than I thought. So look, I think I'll just quickly scroll through anything interesting. Trent Rivers, potential breakout candidate. Tew Jath, just don't think he plays. Lloyd, I think he's a bit over the hill now. Looks like Ewan plays every week. Mitch Hinge isn't a bad shout. I mean, I wouldn't pick him, but I think he can do worse. No. Charlie Dean, he might be the new Will Gould at this stage. Mackay, gee. No, not seeing much here. Sarong could get a game. Witherden might have a good role with Hearn retiring, but that's not a guarantee. Buse, no. No, Buse is in 1%. Gee whiz. Archie Roberts, who's that? Miles Bergman, I think he could be another breakout candidate. Darcy Wilmot, Tom Cleary's playing on a wing potentially, so I'll say unders for that. But gee, this is the real dark side of middle of nowhere sort of picks here. Liam Duggan 1%. I thought he'd be no, I think he got injured, but he could be playing midfield this year. You never know. And they'll do it. So, all right. Thank you guys very much for watching. Really appreciate it and all the support. You guys have all been fantastic. So, thank you guys very much. Like and subscribe. We're trying to get to 1,000 subs before round 1, 2024. Not sure if we'll get there anymore. Hasn't been a great off season for me, but I'll look to try to smash some content over the next 3 weeks before round 1. Hasn't that come around pretty quickly? It doesn't feel like 3 weeks till the second week of the footy season. So anyway, thank you guys very much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.